My advisor is known as usual suspects. We're very close, and I think that we fit together like a puzzle.
Ben, can you come here and look at this for a second? Someone wiped out my... Hold on. Probably because I pulled a ransom.
Right, this is it. This is it. This is like gateways are right there.
Some of the sauteed spinach on, some of the onion, and some of the ricotta cheese. Just little blobs here and there. I'll show you once you get going. You do all 3 shells, please. Yep. And then you need this tomato dice.
Tomato dice?
Okay.
Norman, how do you want them? Like fully cooked? Okay.
Add just a little bit of the lemon juice to that,
Lemon
please.
juice? Okay.
Just a touch, Chris.
Yeah. I come here, I get to play with things. I get to do stuff that people don't do. That's why I like it. Like, my dad wanted to become a chef, but then he got bored of it and stopped. So, like, it doesn't really have to do with, like, him, like, me wanting to be like him, but I just like to cook. How long do you want this on for?
That's perfect. You're all
Perfect?
set.
Okay. Like, for lunch, we can make whatever we want, and we just try something new. Like every day we'll try something new. Just throw a recipe together. Teaspoon, right? Teaspoon.
It's going very well. Chris is interested in the program. Shows up when we need him to, and puts his heart and soul into it. He likes to season things. He's anxious to get ahead and to go and get things done.
The burgers are done.
He came in one day and said, I want to enter this contest, and he found the recipe himself online, multiplied it out, spread your spinach out a bit, you know, to give us a yield for a tasting for about 100. And he was one of the 4 winners of the first prize, and we'll put him in the oven after. And then
this?
Yes.
Okay. What's this for? Cooking?
That's for your stock after. We'll make some stock.
Yeah.
Great job. We're proud of him. So he was also. It's good.
I do a lot of the students' food, like for the lunches and everything. So if I slack off, they're not gonna get food. It's no problem with me, because I get food all the time. It's a kitchen. Well, we're ready? Well, I gotta go, okay? You want a piece?
I love one. I've never said no to a good slice of pizza, so.
Yes. To be honest, seriously, I hate spinach. But I'm gonna try it because I made it. Is there anything else you want me to do now, or?
I'm gonna have you put together the variation of your award-winning General's chicken, but with beef today. So.
Okay. I'm gonna grab one of these.
Wasn't done this morning, so that's why we have.
All in all, he's doing pretty good.
Okay.
I guess we're going to be here for another day, though. And I pray he does well.
Okay, he'll be fine. Are
We
you
wanna be
getting
home
rest?
For the weekend. I am. I get more rest
Okay.
here than I do at home.
Okay, that's what counts. So honestly, you remember Mike? We met Michael yesterday, and he's doing fine. I saw him this morning, and I talked to Mom this morning when I came in.
Shayla's my mentor. She's a third-year medical student. Out of all my mentors that I had, she's like the best mentor. And it makes me want to do my project. It makes me want to go to my LTI because I know that I'm not only going there for my work, but I'm going there to be with her. It's fun.
I just brought the book in that we use in class.
I can call her for anything. We talk like every single day.
Before we actually do it.
Not only do I work with her at the hospital, but we go out to eat, we hang out together. She's just like a great person to be around with.
So like anything that we do in the office or the clinics, we learn from this book here. But did you wrote that down on your work site as one of the books to reference, right? No? Okay.
I was supposed to. I like that she's a Black American, not that a female that has goals in her life and she's taking a step that she needs to accomplish her goals.
There you go, invasive. And then the other one you want to look up is non-invasive. And basically what we mean by when we say invasive means that a procedure where you actually cut and you go into the body. So you're going in through the skin. Don't take my word, you're going to look it up. You can't write down what I said, you'd be cheating.
I was trying to.
Yeah. And then non-invasive would just be anything that we would call what we would do on top of the skin, that we don't have to open you up or we don't have to cut you to to stick a probe in or to stick a needle in. What are you doing?
Right now, that's an example.
Is blood pressure invasive or non-invasive?
Oh, non-invasive.
Okay. What would be an example of invasive? That you can think of. Something that you might get as a little kid when you go to the doctor.
Your tonsils taken out.
Yeah, that's invasive. That's a surgery. That's as invasive as you get. Or even shots. Shots are considered invasive. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're using to measure hypertension, is the blood pressure. And remember, in blood pressure, you're trying to get two numbers.
Systolic and diastolic. Right?
Diastolic, and what's the other one?
Diastolic.
Systolic?
Yes, systolic.
Okay, you remember one. That's good. And just as a review, when you took the blood pressure, the first number when you first heard the heartbeat, that was your systolic.
Mm-hmm.
And then that last number must be the
Diastolic.
right. So the first part of the exam, we got the consent. Then we want to check the heart rate.
For 15 seconds.
Good. You remember this better than I do. I had to ask you on Tuesday, and I had a patient with hypertension. But you would have been so mad with me. And remember one of the things I taught you? You checked blood pressure in both arms? I checked blood pressure in one arm. I was so mad when I walked out of there because I was like, you know what? I taught this to you, and I don't even remember.
Oh my God. At any point, going to write a letter for that?
No. Nope.
So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday through Friday, 8, 10, 12, 2. But then we need 3 slots at each.
Okay, is our goal to schedule advisors going to Gateway exhibitions now?
Yeah. Right.
So should we do it one day at a time?
Yeah. Wednesday at 10, Sean. 12 o'clock, Aisha. 2 o'clock, Odyssey. On Thursday at 10 a.m., the almighty Josue. 12 o'clock, Chris. 2 o'clock, Rachel.
I can go to Brandon's at 12 on Monday.
Don't do it too quick.
Or not.
Just get it out.
Yeah.
I would love to have you there.
It may be worth looking at which students could benefit from having more than one staff person there. So then you're not going to Brandon's on Monday, right? I'm going to that. Yeah. Okay.
Love to have you there. Bad cop, good cop.
I think just bad cop, bad
Just
cop.
bad cop, bad cop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Listen, heads up. Now, ladies, grab your attention for a second. Okay, Priscilla's not here. Michelle's going to her exhibition. Brandon, you have Siobhan and Ben. Oh, man. Mariella, you have... Excuse me? Wow. Wow. Okay. Sean, you have Becky and Ben. Aisha, you have Becky. Odyssey, you have Ben. Josue, you have Siobhan and Ben. Chris, you have Ben. Rachel, you have Ben. Sherilyn, you have Becky, and Engers, you have Siobhan. Listen to me. In most cases, you have advisors that went to your first quarter exhibition. So they're going to see the growth, all right? Folks, listen. I'm sorry? There's no swapping advisors. No, there's no trading. You have what you have. It shouldn't matter. If you do...
Ben not bad for us because he came to our exhibition already, but they never...
Costa's doing the quiet thing again.
It shouldn't matter who goes to your exhibition. It really shouldn't. Questions about that? Cool. Now, listen, who's at your LTI tomorrow and I won't see? I need to see you at 2 o'clock because all your work is due today. Check your checklist. All your work is due today. If it's not, listen, if you know it's not done, there's no surprises. You're not leaving. I need that work done. Turned in by today. No.
I can't finish a research paper in a PowerPoint by today.
Did you try it at home? Did you work at home last night?
But I don't have PowerPoint.
Hey, Costa,
Talk to me. Ladies, it's hard for me to talk to people when you guys keep having side conversations. Cut it out. Thank you. So, okay, I see your point, and I'll talk to you about it, okay? That makes sense. Marielle, are you planning on coming back tomorrow after school? Beautiful. You're not going anywhere.
Sometimes you got time, like after this, to go over my gateway binder.
completely impossible for me to
That's what we do tomorrow, after school if you want.
Is Mike gonna be here? Is Mike gonna be here today?
He's supposed to, yes.
If he's not here, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get all my work done. Okay? Just make sure you know that.
No, it's not that simple. Sorry, good try though.
I just want to get the work right now done for today. I want to get this done by today.
As
Not
long
like,
as you,
I want to get first draft done by
okay.
today.
As long as you understand trans fat.
It's more saturated.
We'll say it's more saturated. Exactly. And the melting point is higher.
Okay.
And when you have trans fat or saturated fat, that's what has a bad effect on cholesterol and clogging of the arteries. When you have something like unsaturated fats, it's better.
Because your body can use it for energy.
Right.
So like your body has nothing to do with like your body can't really do anything with trans fat. It just stays in there.
It's a heart clogger, as you would say in Rhode Island, hot clogger.
Yep.
So, are you into this because you read Fast Food Nation?
Yeah, because that worries me. Cause I'm doing. The paper is on trans fat. Trans fat is because like, okay, scientists they added more hydrogen cells to like oils so that the food on the market can stay fresh longer. By adding more hydrogen molecules to the oil they cooked them in, they last longer. But when they add the hydrogen molecule to the oil, when you eat that, it turns into pure fat. So it's just like eating pure fat. And it's not even like regular fat, it's saturated fat. So it's like eating pure saturated fat. And that's what clogs your arteries and kills you.
Where'd you get this book? Is this a college book?
Yeah, it's a college
book. Confusing to me.
Yeah, it is kind of confusing.
Where'd you get it?
I got it from Mike, one of Carlos's friends. See? It's one of his college books, yeah.
So here's what
All that stuff that we read, put it on Advisor.
In this book, it says that saturated fat, saturated oil is when it can't take any more hydrogen. It's because all it is carbon and hydrogen. When it can't take any more, like when it's saturated, it gets harder. So it's harder to melt down when like you exercise, stuff like that. So that's why the fat really builds up, because it got so many hydrogen atoms in it. It's like a brick in your stomach. Right. You can't get rid of it.
It would be cool to sit down with our lunch people.
What the? I have an LTI in the kitchen, so.
So do you influence them at all? Or?
I talk about that all the time.
For your gateways next week, everyone should wear something that you normally do not wear to school. They should be professional presentations. I don't want to see all the regular apparel. They need to take you seriously. Your panel needs to see that you're taking it seriously as well. All right? So Arthur, you know, something like what you had worn when you went to like the Shadow Day with Marielle and those guys. So Sway, you know what you normally do. Brandon, usually put something on that's pretty decent.
Wear the clothes that I got since I got them for court.
Oh, that's very nice.
And I got a
that
tie,
was
but I
nice.
didn't wear it.
Thank you all for coming. Before we begin, does everyone have a feedback form, an agenda, and a graph? Okay.
Well, welcome to my second quarter exhibition. This is my gateway exhibition. My name is Odyssey Smith. My mentor is Shayla Brock. She's right there. She's a third-year medical student. That's my advisor, Carlos. The start of my LTI is at Memorial Hospital. I go there from 7:30 to sometimes to as late as 11 or 12. A typical day, you should pick me up at 7:30. We go to the hospital. We meet. We talk about everything that we need to get done for the day. We visit her patients. After we visit the patients, we go over like the vital signs, if they got worse overnight or if they improved. After we sit down and meet about that, we go to a lecture. And some of the lectures I've been to is like how to put a splint on, how to talk to a child or a patient if they're overweight. Then after we do that, we do our work that we said we was going to plan out for the day. And then we talk and we meet and talk about how the day went. That's like a typical day for me. So my activity is on blood pressure readings, and I will explain what blood pressure is and go further into that. So can I have one volunteer for now? Dan? I'm going to explain to him the steps of taking blood pressure so that you know how to take blood pressure. This is the blood pressure cuff, and I'm gonna put it on your arm. It's not it's gonna be a little bit discomfort, but it's not gonna be much. So wrap it around the arm, and you take this and you make it tight. Hold your arm out. You gotta be still. So this right here is what I use to make it inflate, and this right here is what I use to see when I can hear the first heartbeat. Oh no, I can see like when the first heartbeat starts. And then how I hear it is by using this stethoscope, and I put it on my ears. Then you put this right here so I can hear the heartbeat. And then you inflate it to 200. Hold this. And as it goes to 200, I'm gonna let it out slowly so I can hear the first heartbeat. Okay, his first heartbeat was at 120, and I'm gonna do it again so I can hear the second heartbeat. Okay, so his second heartbeat was at 80. He has, according to like the charts of hypertension, how to read it, he has normal blood pressure. So when I was listening for the first beat, that was systolic pressure, which when your blood is filling with blood, it's pushing the blood. And then the second beat was when the heart was relaxing and the blood was just flowing through. So his blood pressure would be 120 over 80, and that's systolic, and the systolic is the first number, which is 120. And then the second one is the diastolic. Okay, we'll move on to my second project, which was on hypertension. These are the risk factors of hypertension. If I have a family member, like your parents, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, who have hypertension, then you're more likely to have it. If you are African American, because it's 50% African Americans have hypertension, and it's like 40% Caucasians have hypertension. So we are like African Americans are more prone to having hypertension. If you are overweight or obese, if you smoke cigarettes or you smoke less tobacco, if you drink more than 2 or 3 alcohol beverages per day on a regular basis, or use oral contraceptions, which is like medicines, things like that, and if you do not exercise. Yes.
Short of having you check my blood pressure, would I have physical symptoms if I was in stage 1 or stage 2 hypertension?
If you was in stage 2 hypertension, you probably would get headache, or you can't see, like your eyes would be blurry, or you're sleepless. Then you probably get them symptoms. But if it was like normal or pre-hypertension, hypertension 1, it won't be like really no symptoms because they haven't found any symptoms.
Looking at your PowerPoint, it's a lot of good information in here. I'm wondering, did you talk to people about this? Did you go to interviews?
Nope. I got the graphs and the pictures from Google Images, and I got like the information from these books and Health Center Online. So I use like different sources. Any questions about that?
In regards to African, it says that African Americans are more likely.
Why?
Yeah.
You know, because the way African Americans eat, like most African Americans were brought up eating like a lot of salt in their food, and I'm not saying that all African Americans don't eat healthy, but most African Americans do not eat healthy.
Are you trying to say that? I'm sorry, I gotta say it this way, the way I can understand. Black people eat soul food, like, and they put more seasoning in their food. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like more salt in their food versus a Caucasian.
Okay.
And there's other factors, but that's the main one.
It wasn't their family.
Right.
So right now I'm gonna read my project summary. This project will assist my mentor with the National Health Scholarship, research on hypertension and adolescence for children and adolescents. The different products that I will create in this research paper about hypertension, learn how to take blood pressure, creating a survey for the Met, organizing a community health fair. The learning goals in my project. Empirical reasons will be involved in my project by me testing my hypothesis on the eating habits and different races, age, and gender. My hypothesis is that the minorities will be at high risk for hypertension versus the Caucasians because it's the way that we eat and the way that I see like my friends, how we, like I have Caucasian friends and they eat differently from what I eat. So that's why that was my hypothesis. The way I would test it is by having students take a health survey that I had created already. From the surveys I had done, I would show the type of food they eat, if they think that they eat healthy, how many risk factors run in their family, like does their mom have diabetes, does their mom have hypertension, does their, well not really only their mom but both parents. And I also would calculate their BMIs, so which is body mass index. And that by me calculating their BMIs, I would see if they're overweight than what they're supposed to be. I communicated through my project because I had a lot of the staff look at my surveys and correct it and put in what they think I needed. And that's like basically my hypertension cover sheet. It would be my final draft, and then the part where I had to make corrections.
Do you have the timeline with it?
I'll pass on my timeline when I pass on my research paper. All right, so I had to do a research paper on hypertension, and this is not my final draft. My draft that I did, which was my first one, got erased on Sunday because I didn't save my work and I didn't back it up, so it got erased. But from Sunday to now, I did about 8 pages. The things that I talked about in my paper was what's hypertension, how to treat it, how the blood flows through the body, what causes hypertension. From my research paper, I found out that 10 to 15% of school-age children, which means like myself or preschoolers, have hypertension.
Where is that statistic from?
Heart Center Online.
Heart Center Online?
And it's also in the books. So the books and online say the same thing.
Okay, so that you use as a way of making you think it's more likely? That's a good habit, to double check your sources. Do you know who runs Heart Center Online?
No.
I would double check that, because you did a great thing, which was to double check that 2 different sources had the same information, but you wanted to take a third step, which is to really understand, especially when you throw the internet into the equation, you want to know who's putting up the information. You want to know that it's a doctor or a scientist, not someone who had some free time to make a web page. And I've heard great empirical reasoning, great quantitative reasoning and communication. The one part I'm really curious about is the social reasoning. And the way I would see this social reasoning research would be if you were looking at how it affected specific communities, African American versus Caucasian communities, or how it affected American society.
I did that through my survey. I asked them what zip code it is, so that way I can break it down into different communities. But I haven't did it yet because there's so much information that it takes time to break it down. So, and another part of my survey that I did was the BMIs, which is the body mass index, to see how much of the student is overweight. And that would be, So N equals the number of students. And so 4 students was undetermined, which means like they didn't give their weight or their height.
Is this based on what students reported their own weight was?
Yep.
How accurate do you think that is?
I don't think it was like, most of them probably did, but then we probably got like a handful of them that probably didn't.
So one thing you might want to do, and this may be a step for the next stage of the project, but when you recognize that there may be limitations in the conclusions you draw, for instance, it seems this isn't an accurate BMI based on their height, actual height and weight, you may just want to put like an asterisk at the bottom of the graph, which shows to your panel that you've thought ahead to what limitations might be, and it makes it seem that your data analysis was that much more thoughtful. Do you know what I mean?
One thing Odyssey pointed out at the beginning of her project was that she would the limitation of weighing the students, and that's why when she sat down with Mike Harris, it was that at that point they came up with ranges.
So personal growth, I have to comment on my graph that Carlos gave to me.
2 things really quickly. This chart shows that you complete about 70% of your work on time. That means there's still about a good 30% that you're not meeting on time. And I know that the goal for our advisory, for the majority of our advisories, to continue to make about 85% of our, to turn it in on time, especially with a project, the size of yours. It's going to be important that you meet your deadlines.
How will I?
What is your plan?
I want to say use my calendar, but I always seem to misplace my calendar. But when I do use it, it does help me. So I guess I have to work on keeping up with my calendar, attach it to my binder, or use my phone calendar or something. Yes.
There was a requirement for advisory for everyone to participate in some sort of physical fitness at least once a week. Could you comment on that, and do you have any documentation of that? Because I know that's been an ongoing thing with you. And it's just so ironic that I can actually pull up the slide if you like, where you said in your hypertension research that regular physical activity is important. So as a aspiring physician, I'd like to hear your comments on that.
Well, last year I worked out 4 times. This year I worked out 5 times. Not a big difference, but at least it's some kind of progress. Hey, it's a little bit. There's no reason why I don't work out, except for like in the morning. My grandma don't take me. My grandfather does.
I could take you if you get up on time.
I can remember like 3 days of like last week that I asked you what you say.
Cause you asked me in the morning. Asked me the night before. Did I know what to do to get up early myself and get other kids ready for school?
To up the ante too, not only is it an advisory expectation, but as you know, you need a staff endorsement to be part of Senior Institute. And I can quote my letter in saying that by this exhibition, you need to be exercising twice a week. By the 3rd gateway, you need to be exercising 3 times a week for me to sign that letter again.
Any last questions or comments for Odyssey?
I think Odyssey at this point has very good writing technique and ways of expressing herself, and that's very evident in how fast she will turn over a piece of writing that she has done. And even her research paper that I saw before I got a raise, Odyssey was starting to make things succinct. So she has progressed greatly since I started working with her, even in that aspect. And vocab. Odyssey knows I get on her for her vocab. But what Odyssey and I will do is go back and forth until she gets it right. And I can see that she's starting to use those words in her writing.
I'm glad that now she's being challenged a lot more with that. So she's not just coasting where she knows that she writes well and just going with that. And this is Ben's suggestion because he had to run. But he wanted me to have you do this. Research the societal effects of hypertension and how it impacts certain ethnicities and society at large. And you have a lot of data that you already collected. All right, so now it's just doing a little more research, and that's something separate because your research paper is almost done. So we're looking ahead for 4th quarter. All right. Fix your face. What's wrong with you?
I didn't work. Look, I don't got enough.
Huh?
I just out of work.
Yes, that's the way it's supposed to be. All right, any other final comments or questions?
She's a good scientist.
Shirley, any feedback?
No, I'm just very proud of her. She did a good job. She did a lot of improvement. And she really liked coming here. She really liked this school.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't
That's
mention.
a big thing. Hello everyone, welcome to my first gateway. My name is Josue Lopez.
Hi everybody, welcome to my 1st quarter gateway exhibition.
Hello, my name is Sean and this is my 10th grade gateway exhibition. I kind of only made it to fit my head, but if you take the thing out from the middle, it can fit other people's heads.
Like the style of the Empire State Building is Art Deco, and I didn't know what Art Deco was. I just put it in there because that's a style. But then me and my mom went into more in-depth in it and figured out what Art Deco was.
Here's the skirt I made. And the process in making this was me and Carlos, we went to the fabric store. We got some fabric